All right, looks like we're going to have an Oscons. Okay, we're underway. We have a wild Oscons popping in here. We'll know. Okay, so we have Team Australia with the Ohio, the Kerfers, the Warspite, and the Revolution. And we're seeing another Mikasa with the Borgon, Kremlin, Georgia. Mikasa, let's get right into the battle. Indy. Get an Oscons in here. All right off the bat, it looks like Mikasa is going to slowly make his way up the right flank with the Borgon and Kremlin mid. Georgia hasn't made any type of movement. It looks like he's going left. And we've got the Revolution heading towards the middle with the Warspite. So a 5 and a 6 with 2 tier 10s. That's an interesting split. Again, it's still going to be 4 guns being able to get shots downrange. Hi, Mr. Bird. Like Griefer Merc and your DDBB. What's up, Bella? All right. Looks like Kerfers and Ohio are going to take the advantage of this C cap. They're going to be meeting at least the Borgon. And it looks like Kremlin's going up the center. They're going to split the caps. Georgia, at the moment, appears to be going to A. And I think he's going to find it quite empty. Yeah, they're splitting the caps. Interesting strategy. Got to get my team names right here. For Team Australia. Blue and Team Los Velocistas. Red. All right, Georgia is going to be able to cap. Kremlin is going to take up the position we saw the Massachusetts take up yesterday. And it looks like there's going to be a Borgon all by himself against a Kerfers in Ohio. Let's take a look and see if anything's spotted yet. Right now, nothing on the red team spotted. Nothing on the blue team spotted. This is going to be an explosive battle in C. Borgon is going to be right within the secondary range of the Kerfers when he spots him. And it looks like, nope, not yet. Hasn't happened yet. Hasn't happened yet. Borgon's thinking he's safe. He is in a world of hurt. All right, so they know the Borgon's here. And it looks like he is going to be right in range of both these secondaries if the Kerfers decides to come around the corner. Georgia is going to be meeting the Warspite. Right now, the Revolution and the Warspite have to be thinking, well, we know there's something there. Unless it's the Mikasa, which they should know the Mikasa shouldn't be able to get there in time. They probably need to back off there, and that's what we're seeing the Revolution peel off. The Warspite's also peeling off wide. They're going to be able to cap A. Borgon is in a 1v1 right now with the Ohio. He's beached. If lost spotting on him, they have. And now the Kerfers is coming around, and he has his broadside. And this is trouble. They have managed to hit the Georgia and reset the cap over at A. Oh, there's some big citadels on the Borgon. So right now, you got to give the advantage to Team Australia. Yeah, these Kerfers in Ohio are going to make short work of the Borgon. He beached himself trying to turn left in the island, and he is just going to sit here and eat citadels. He is not much longer for this world. In A, the Warspite and Revolution have managed to hit the Georgia and not take damage, but you see the Kremlin cut up the middle, and just like that, the Ohio takes out the Borgon. Oh, it's sinful. So this is interesting. They're already down 1. They've got a Mikasa. So in all actuality, they're down 2. Mikasa has been making a beeline to B, but they've already capped it. So I'm not sure what the Mikasa is doing. Georgia is staying safe. The Kremlin has an advantage on the Revolution, but the Ohio has managed to back up. And he is just waiting for this Kremlin's broadside. So the one good thing that Team Los Velocistas has going is they have 2 caps. Because of it, they are going to be able to take up a lead. Oh no, Revolution is blocking that cap. This is interesting. Okay, Ohio is going to go around. Mikasa should spot this out. Now the Georgia is in a battle with the Warspite. He has his secondaries on him. And he is he's put 9k damage on him. Now for some reason, it looks like the Revolution sticking his beak where it doesn't belong, and the Kremlin is firing HE at him. And Revolution is shooting at the Mikasa. Mikasa takes a little bit of damage. Ohio's coming around. Miss Mikasa is not long for this world. If the Kremlin pushes too far forward, he is going to be met with a Kurfürst who is just sitting there licking his chops, waiting. I'm guessing all of his guns are turned there. Now he is moving forward for a secondary battle against the Kremlin. They are going to push this situation. This October Revolution needs to take his time, not get into this fight. If, oh, yep, there's the overmatch right from the front. Looks like Revolution is going for a ram. Kremlin's going to get one good shot at this. Hope you have your AP loaded. There's the Kurfürst. Boop. All right, so basically that's the equivalent of a double citadel, and now the Kremlin has to take time to turn his guns. Ohio's coming around the backside. Right now, this Georgia needs to get aggressive. He needs to support what's happening with this Kremlin. Does that by killing the Warspite, and he's going to be able to turn and fire on this Kurfürst. It's a matter of how quickly he can kill this Warspite. The Warspite is low. The George is charging. One shot, Ohio to Mikasa. That is the end of the Mikasa. Ohio racking up his second kill. Now the Kremlin is charging. Warspite does have his broadside. Let's see if he can sit him. He can. Warspite with the big hits. And right now, Los Velocistas kicking some ass. Georgia is coming around, but if this Kremlin goes down, Warspite needs to go quickly. One more shot from the Georgia. The Ohio is basically out of this fight, but he is going to be able to come in. And again, we see this 1, 2, 3 trident position. Warspite's going to go down right here. No! He must have overpenned him. And there goes the Kremlin. So it is going to be a 3v1. Again, we're watching that Mikasa strategy. 4 guns matter. So that Warspite was able to take a big chunk out of that Kremlin, whereas the Mikasa just went to the center, didn't cap, didn't influence the game, and died. You're kind of seeing the end result of that. Mikasa will win this for the team, huh? And the Warspite's been able to heal. This Tier 9 battleship is not able to take down a Tier 6 battleship, and that's huge. So if I'm Nam, I'm going back to the drawing board and I'm saying, get rid of this Mikasa. Wow, this Warspite will not die. That is so frustrating. Now the Georgia has switched his secondaries over to the Kurfürst, and the Ohio's coming around. And as soon as he turns left, which he is doing, this Ohio is going to pop out like a magic show. And you are going to watch one very, very hurt Georgia. Here it comes. All right, he's taken one shot at the Warspite. Hopefully it hits. It does not. RNG cursed. And there it is. Ohio has his broadside, and that is the end of the Georgia. So it looks like... Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Team Australia, I believe, is the winning team. These teams having weird names. Nothing. Okay, Bravo was Los Velocistas, so Team Australia with the first win. My apologies. Oh, Mikasa. Okay, looks like two of the members have left. That Warspite. Okay, MVP of that match, Warspite. He would not die. A Tier 6 battleship stood valiantly against a tier 9. He was able to kite effectively, stay alive, and because of it, it stalled the Georgia. It stopped any type of reinforcement from coming to the center. The Mikasa was just there as an inconvenience. He got shot instantly and died. He wasn't able to do any type of sneaky backcaps like we saw. And the Kurfürst and Ohio going to the E-cap was just a little bit too much for the enemy. Yeah, I don't remember. Burgoyne. Enemy Burgoyne. So, good use of overweighting one cap, getting a big advantage there. And once you do that, so that's the problem with the Mikasa. You're basically, if you're going to try and get all caps with the Mikasa, you're basically condemning at least 2 of your ships, technically 3, to a 1v2 somewhere. And that means 2 guns on 1. And this Mikasa strategy, teams have won with it. I want to see how they do it. And I think it just is going to boil down to one of these high-tier ships just beating the crap out of a tier 5-6 battleship. But these tier 5-6 battleship captains have proven to be really, really difficult to kill. And I'm guessing the Georgia had to be very, very frustrated. So here we go, game 2. Going to be on it's going to be Two Brothers domination style. Let's see if they bring a Mikasa again. Again, I'm not on board with this Mikasa. I want to see how it wins. We shall see. But interesting strategy with the 5-6 10-10. I think you could get away with those tier 10s being tier 9s. Bring a Musashi and maybe a Georgia. But we'll have to see. All right, the teams are in here. Looks like we're ready. Team Australia has readied up. Waiting for Los Velocistas. Velocistas? I don't know how to. I give up. We'll just call them LV. All right, they're one dropped out apparently to go change a captain or a ship. Not 100% sure what's going on there, so we wait. In the meantime, let me notify my next game that I may be a little. All right, looks like the other team got one, but I'm not gonna have time to wait. Did inform the next team that I'm gonna be late. We're waiting on Los LV, Team LV. Like they're oh, looks like they've switched out players to Top Hat Jones. Okay. Everyone's ready. We're ready. And we're underway. Game 2. Two Brothers domination style. All right. They've learned there's no Mikasa. So on Team LV, you have a Thunderer, a Junbart, a Massachusetts, and a Nikolai I versus an Ohio Kurfürst Warspite Revolution. They're bringing the exact same squad, exact same ships, exact same squad they brought last time. A little bit of a mix-up on LV's side. Game. Afraid my game's going to crash here. All right, so Immediately, I'm noticing that the Kurfürst and Ohio are next to each other again. I think their strategy, in addition to the ship picks, I think they very intelligently paired two very strong secondary ships next to each other. They're going to have a strong side on the left and the Warspite Revolution. Oh, he's in a Warspite now. Was he in a Warspite last time? Remember. Sure on that. So for this, you've got to wonder where their tanking's coming from. Your Jean Bart's going to be able to bow on. Your Massachusetts can take some damage, but in a secondary fight against higher tier ships, he's going to be in trouble. It doesn't look like that's going to happen because he's on the left side. He's going to have the Revolution Warspite. And I'm guessing the tanking is going to have to come from the Jean Bart. So the Jean Bart's going to have to tank and spot for the Thunderer to be able to fire from the back. Otherwise, the Nicholas is going to have to put himself at a lot of risk in order to get some spotting for this Thunderer. Remember that, oh, he's shot. Gets spotted doing that. Doesn't look like it. Okay, so he is safe. Turn off my... Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on, I'm casting something right now. I'm not supposed to be in here. Hi, Razor. Boop. There we go. Okay. So it looks like the Thunderer... This is going to be the disadvantage of... The advantage of the Thunderer is long-range HE spam. I don't think he's going to be able to do this because he needs something to spot. The Nikolai is too slow to get up there. The Jean Bart appears to be covering the middle. The Massachusetts is going to be diving towards this island, and we're going to see this Revolution go kite position for A. He's getting ready for the Massachusetts, and it looks like there's going to be a... Hi, Pudding. It looks like there's going to be a Ohio versus Kurfürst again, but this time it's going to be the Thunderer. Unless they put the Thunderer over this island to fire over it. See if anything's spotted. Nothing spotted on this. Okay, the Ohio is spotted. Let's see if the Thunder gets into position before he fires. There he goes. He fires. Let's see if he gets spotted by the Kurfürst. He did get spotted. We're going to have return fire from the Ohio and the Kurfürst. The Nikolai has turned out. Revolution is in a kiting position. Let's see if they've spotted the Massachusetts. They haven't. The only thing they see is the Thunderer. Thunderer takes a big old knock from the Ohio. And he is able to return it. Ohio has a spotter plane up. He's only been able to take 12K. Took another 3K chunk there. Really wondering what they're... So they're not utilizing their low-tier battleship in a way that I think makes sense. But I think they've noticed that the Ohio and the Kurfürst are likely at D. They're going to give it up, and they're going to shift to the A cap, which is really, really smart. Massachusetts and Jean Bart are already making their way over there. It looks like Thunderer is covering the center and slowly retreating over there. I'm guessing the Nikolai is going to stay right here to spot. He has his guns looking in this direction. Let's see if the Ohio is spotted. Let's see if the Thunder is going to be able to get some cracks on him as he's kiting away. The Massachusetts has engaged against the Revolution. And again, this Revolution only taken a pen. Well, the Massachusetts is on fire, it looks like. May have DCP'd it. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, perfect. Okay, good. God, Warspite. Putting some hits on the Massachusetts. Keeping an eyeball on what this Thunderer is firing on the Kurfürst. Nikolai is doing some degree of spotting, but at this point, if they're both firing at it, the spotting is little utility. The Warspite and Revolution are putting some shots down on the Massachusetts. I turn off my dog cam. Dog's knocked it. All right, and Nicholas, now see, this is smart. They put the Nikolai, he's firing HE, he's safe. He's able to put some damage on the Kurfürst. Good for the Nikolai. Okay, now they're starting to use it. They're keeping him safe. Going to bring him down the center. That's the interesting question. The Jean Bart relatively been a non-factor here. They do manage to cap A, but they're at a slight points disadvantage because the team Australia was able to cap D first. So the Ohio and the Kerr first are swinging over, most likely to counter what's happening at A. This Massachusetts is getting his behind handed to him by this Revolution Warspite combo is pretty vicious. See where that Thunderer ran off to. The Thunderer has circled back. He's now in a 1v1 versus the Kerr first. I think he sees him. He does not. And the blue squad sees nothing. Massachusetts has managed to go dark. Oh, they get a blind shot on the retreating Massachusetts. John Bart and Massachusetts are coming back. And they're eliminating the October Revolution's ability to shoot here by retreating. But right now, as it stands, Team Australia would win on points. This is smart play that we're seeing. They're both being passive. They're feeling the teams out. They're seeing where the strength is, and they're countering, and then they're countering the counter. Really like what I'm seeing here. Kerr first has taken some, significant damage from the Thunder. Thunder has been able to hold his HP fairly well. And if he manages, this is where the Kerr first is going to be at a disadvantage. He's going to get spotted out by the Thunderer long before the Thunderer gets spotted by him. So the Thunder has the advantage of deciding when he's going to engage. The Ohio is moved over towards A / covering the center in case the Nikolai decides to do something cheeky. The Nikolai is just spotting the center right now. He gets a shot off at the Ohio. Let's see. This is to his detriment. Nope. He sees it and he hits a mountain. All right. Thunderer has engaged the Kerr first. He has him spotted. Not for very long. See if the Thunderer's not spotted because of that island. But again, that's another big shot on the Kerr first. So we're seeing relatively passive play. Massachusetts is spotted again, somehow. Or they're just taking blind shots in an attempt to bait out this Massachusetts. That's what it looks like is going on. The Revolution is shooting for information. And by shooting and not being spotted, he knows that they're away from A. That's actually very, very smart on Team Australia's part. Nikolai is coming back around. He may be doing some type of cheeky back cap of D. The Thunderer is likely called out that the Kerr first is retreating. The Ohio is now spun around to A cap. This is one of the interesting things about counter and counter. By shifting the Ohio all the way over, that took a great amount of time. There's only 6 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock. So if this Nikolai manages to get into and stall the decap, we may be able to see that 12 points made up. But it looks like the Ohio is going to get to A long before then, and the Massachusetts is going to be gone. So you've seen a counter to the counter, and now we're seeing LV counter by going all to D. Effectively abandoning A, making the Revolution 9 miles out of play. He's going to be a non-factor, but the Ohio's coming around. He's going to be able to cap, and the Kerr first has managed, doubly check. Yep, Kerr first has managed to go dark. He's at half health. He's the biggest threat to go down. So we're seeing play, counterplay, counterplay. It's a very strategic game. This is probably the first one we're going to see where all the ships aren't going to die to get the W. And now they've switched over to the Warspite. Now the Warspite's a target that makes sense. This Jean Bart can come around, get some shots on him. I don't know if you shoot with the Nikolai unless he's spotted. Let's take a look at this. Okay, they have the Warspite spotted. The Nikolai is the only thing spotted right now. So Warspite and Kerr first are going to get in on that, and we're going to see if they can kill the Warspite faster than they can kill the Nikolai. Ohio has made it into the A cap right around the same time. The Nikolai has made it to the D cap. The only difference being this Warspite's going to be able to shoot the Nikolai and reset the cap, and the Ohio is going to have a free cap at A. Massachusetts is making his way down the center. I would assume to go after this Kerr first. The Thunderer is able to free fire again at the Warspite. He should be unspotted. He is unspotted. Jean Bart is spotted now. And the Kurfürst gets a big smack on the Nikolai. And the Warspite, he's being 2v1 now. Nikolai's in trouble. They got to kill this Warspite. They have 3 guns. I don't think that Nikolai has the range just yet to be able to fire on him. Massachusetts is up the middle. So I think if you kill the Warspite and then kill the Kurfürst, I don't know. This is a lot of points to make up. Because right now, ACAP is ticking down. They're getting... B and C are basically negating each other, and DCAP is being constantly reset. Thunder has been spotted. They are hard charging the Warspite. There's 4 minutes and 20 seconds left. Massachusetts is in on it, and now the Kurfürst is in a little bit of trouble. Massachusetts was at secondary range. Revolution is sneaking over. Ohio's going to have to wrap around, but he's not going to be able to shoot at anything for a very, very long time, if at all, for the rest of the game. If this Massachusetts decides to go forward, they're focused firing on the Kurfürst. Big hit on the Nikolai. Warspite's down to 9,000. Hi, Linsky. Revolution is able to get some shots at Jean Bart, which is broadside, but it is inconsequential of damage. This Warspite's about to go down. We may have seen the counter play successfully executed. They're down 50 points. DCAP still is uncontested. 3,000 on the Nikolai. Warspite should be going down, and it does. That's going to swing the points in favor of LV. And the Massachusetts is finishing his onslaught with the Jean Bart on the Kurfürst, who is backing up. But again, look at this spread. Anywhere this Kurfürst goes, he's in trouble. He's going to try and kill the Nikolai, which is going to give them the requisite points that they need. The Ohio is going to be able to get the C cap, but it looks like the Massachusetts has been able to pull forward and start contesting the B cap, which is going to slow down the points of... oh, there goes the Kurfürst to the Jean Bart. So big advantage to LV. And it looks like Team Australia is in a ton of trouble. Ohio is going to be able to get into the C cap. And if he goes fast enough and the Massachusetts stays slow, he is going to get one big crack at the Massachusetts. But there's 2 minutes, 42 seconds left. Massachusetts is uncontested, capping B. This Nikolai needs to make sure that he doesn't overrun D before he caps it, and it looks like, with just the nick of time, Los Velocistas is going to get its first win. There goes the B cap. Very well executed. And again, that's the difference, I think, between the Mikasa and the Nikolai. Nikolai was able to contribute in that battle. He's able to cap. He's able to shoot. He's able to spot. All while staying alive and not being one-tapped. Ohio is able to come through the center, shoot at the Massachusetts, who is well-angled, is going to be able to get out of there very quickly. Looks like C-Cap is going to roll over to Team Australia, but is probably too little too late. There's 1:53 left. Massachusetts is going to cut over hard to the left as Jean Bart's going to cut to the right. Thunderer's safe. They're going to have 3 people firing at the Revolution. I think that's going to be that. This Ohio going to struggle. So the Nikolai needs to hide, and that's what he's doing. They've capped BC, so they've swapped caps. Caps are even, but they need to do something in the next minute 27. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to. This Revolution is really good at staying alive, and he was really good at putting some damage on the Massachusetts, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it under this amount of pressure. Yeah, I think this is going to be it. 1 minute, 6 seconds to go. So, I really like what we're seeing here. This is the high strategy of battleship versus battleship play. Rather than saying, okay, this is the ship that's in front of me, I'm going to fight it. They said, okay, this is what's in front of me. I don't like this. We're going to switch over. They switched. The enemy team saw that that was happening. They switched. And then Team LV switched a second time, giving them the advantage, bringing the Massachusetts up the center, which caught the Kurfürst off guard. Thunderer's got shots on the Ohio. He is slightly broadside to him. I don't think it's going to be enough to dev strike him in 27 seconds. Jean Bart is charging, likely going for the ram. Massachusetts is peeling off and hiding. Nikolai is completely safe. This is looking like a W for Team LV. Nine seconds, 6 seconds, and that is gonna be the game. Second game goes to Los Velocistas. Is 1-1. Excellent match. Excellent strategy, play, counterplay. So what you can say in the beginning is Team Australia, their two low-tier ships held down the fort long enough for them to be able to counter. The only problem is that Ohio had to go the long way around, and that's that time that it took the Ohio to be shifting back is time he's not shooting, and ultimately I think that difference in damage is what allowed them to be able to have the time to kill the Kerr first and have the time to be able to kill, I don't remember what the hell they had. Really, I got to take notes on this. A Warspite, and ultimately that made the difference in the game. So congratulations, great strategy. I'd like to see that battleship players, and this is high-level battleship play. You don't necessarily have to, you have the option of who you fight and when you fight them, and you can disengage. This is the beauty of long-range battleship play. So, yes, you're spotted while you fire, but if you get that distance, you can disengage. And we saw that from the Massachusetts. He disengaged, he moved, went down the center. They used the map to the best of their abilities, and they ended up ultimately getting a W. So it looks like there is going to be a change in players. Road Rash Burns is coming in for Team LV. Hi, puppies. Hello. What are you doing with? Waiting to find out who the fourth player is on Team Australia. So, nice things about this. You are allowed to have subs. They are effectively using their subs. And it looks like they had a game plan in the first. They saw that Team Australia was going to be bringing mid-tier battleships, and so they made the adjustments that they needed to make. And with those adjustments, they were able to get the victory. Now, the third map, Big Race on Epicenter, is a whole different bag of worms. The caps no longer really count here. This is really going to be a who can kill the enemy team faster. And, excuse me, Team Australia has proven that in a gunfight, they are the superior team. So they have to make sure that they take their Ohio, if they're bringing the Ohio Georgia combo in. If they bring that again, they're gonna they have to know that they're gonna be paired together, and they've got to mitigate that. They have to know that that's where their strength is. They can't over push with those ships, and in doing so, if they're able to get those two ships to kill the first low tier ship that they see, I think they're gonna have some success here. All right, we're just waiting on some players to make some changes. He had someone crash, restarting his game. Okay. So we have someone crash. We're just waiting. On Big Race, you really have two options. And your options involve, you don't want to go, well, you have three. The third one's a terrible idea, which is going towards the center. If you have your secondary ships, and this is what I think Los Velocistas is going to be. They're going to be on Bravo. You're going to have, I'm trying to think based on how they started last time. Yeah, so it looks like, I'm guessing the power of their ships is going to be in this upper northeast corner. And so the battle's likely going to take place somewhere along here. And you can negate a lot of that by pushing your ships into Torpedo Alley. Now, by doing that, you're giving up some stuff. The first is you're giving up this flank. They have a nice clear path with one, maybe 2, 3 chances for some big broadside shots if they come down here, and having those secondary ships get behind your ships is very problematic. I think if you post a ship right up on this bottom area, you can delay them for a while, and you're going to see their lower tier ships right here in the top left. So if you can get your higher tier ships, particularly their secondary ships, up over here, then you have a chance at fighting them. Now, what we've seen from Team Australia is their lower tier ships have gone right up to the corner, and they've gotten into a kiting position. Very smart. And I'm expecting them to do something very similar to that. So in my ship selection, I may not bring secondary ships. I may bring high caliber ships with a high enough caliber to overmatch the stern of a tier 5, tier 6 ship that have really accurate long range guns. Jean Bart is something that comes to mind. It can put on a lot of hurt. It can fire at range. It can do some damage, and it has that reload booster. Because when you have the chance to kill this ship in the top left, move my fat head, the top left, you gotta capitalize on it because those two secondary ships are likely coming down this side. So we shall see. Oh, there we go. We shall see if that's the plan they go for. The other thing that we've seen is teams condense into the middle here. And in doing that, basically have this big wide open void. And it's a matter of what ship from this area can hit these cross shots on the ship that's right. Waiting for these teams. Speed it up just a little bit. What time is it? Got 10 minutes till the next game is supposed to start. I have reached out to the next team. They're on a bit of delay also, so no worries in that regard. If I'm Team Los Velocistas, though, I'm really discussing. So you have a couple advantages in this time. You know what ships Team Australia has brought. You can directly counter those ships with your picks, and you can do it intelligently, or you can go after that tier 5, tier 6 combination that they had, specifically target those ships and just say, we will deal with the high tier secondary ships they're bringing. We'll deal with whatever high tier ships they have when we have numbers. And as we've seen over and over and over in this tournament, the more guns that you can bring to bear to the party, even with that Nikolai seems like a joke, but that Nikolai did damage. That Nikolai did spotting. He was able to get some decent chunks in there. Whereas when you bring a Mikasa, you're basically accepting the fact that you're going to fight a 3v. I think that's foolhardy. I still want to see it work just so I can have some peace of mind because some teams have been able to do it. But, like, you have time. They've already selected their ships. But, like, if you know what the enemy team's bringing in and you don't take the time to counter it, then you better have a lot of confidence in your play. I prefer to have a plan, but if you have more information, act on that. It looks like our fourth player is here, or we're just waiting for him to get moved over, and then we're going to be ready. Let's see if they use this time effectively. Right. Everyone's ready. Everyone's readied up. Get into this battle. Game 3 is underway. It is... What? I keep dropping out of that. Team Australia versus Los Velocistas. One of these days I'm going to probably say that correctly. Not today. Big race epicenter. So again, caps aren't really going to come into play here. So they brought the same thing. They brought the Thunderers, Jean Bart, Massachusetts, Nikolai. And lo and behold, Team Australia changes their composition. They're going Georgia, Palmer, Musashi, Dreadnought. Now, Dreadnought is a step up from the Mikasa, but not much. They're going double secondary build and high overmatch capability. So the Massachusetts and Nikolai and even the Jean Bart are in a lot of trouble. If the Thunderer stays back, so it looks like Team Australia went and got a counter. Now, my only problem here is this Dreadnought. What are they going to do with the Dreadnought? We'll have to keep an eye on that. The Georgia is being played by Tomitas. The Dreadnought, Jab 0105. The Pommern is Luricchio Gamer. And the Musashi is Archangel 2223. On Team Los Velocistas, you have Top Hat in the Massachusetts B, Z-Man Effect in the Jean Bart, Anthrax 1_1 in the Thunderer, and Road Rash Burns in the Nikolai. So They have a Nikolai versus Dreadnought, tier 3 versus tier 4. I think they're both going to be non-issues in terms of who has the advantage here. I think bringing the Dreadnought gives you one extra tier 9, 3 tier 9s, and a tier 3 versus tier 10, tier 9, and tier 8. Again, with the Thunderer, this Thunderer has to be able to put value in terms of these long-range shots, and that's going to be up to the Jean Bart and the Massachusetts to be able to tank damage. So what we're seeing is they're both abandoning the east side of the cap in favor of this Torpedo Alley. Now, this is going to play in the favor of the Pommern, Georgia combination if they're able to get their secondaries down while being able to hold angles. Massachusetts is playing conservatively. He has spotted the Pommern. Nope. And there's the Musashi. So they have information based on 2 ships. And in terms of, no, only the Musashi and the Thunder and Jean Bart have been spotted. Right now, no major damage has really taken place. It looks like the Dreadnought is going to be circling around wide and potentially doing some spotting. Pommern and Musashi are taking an aggressive position, pushing up. It looks like the Pommern's trying to make it to this little island pair. Decent hit on the Musashi from, I'm guessing, the Thunderer. 17k down. Massachusetts is going to be tanking Pommern secondaries, Pommern shots. He probably has to push up to this island. He's going to be hydroed out by the Pommern without a doubt. So the question I have to be asking Team Australia is, where are these cross shots going to come from? Thunder takes a big chunk from the Musashi. Across map, he has him broadside. He's basically stationary. Wow. He took him down to 50%. This Massachusetts is in a ton of trouble. He's being rushed by the Pommern Musashi. Musashi is showing his cheek, but he's able to avoid the shots. Jean Bart is pushing forward, and he's giving his broadside to the Musashi, but not quite yet. I don't know if he sees them. Does. Oh, Massachusetts gets crushed by the Georgia. That answered my question where the cross shots are coming from. The Dreadnought's basically a non-issue here. The Nikolai is moving forward. This Massachusetts is dead in the next salvo. Georgia does take a big hit. Now, unless this Jean Bart just one-taps this Musashi, and they're shooting at him, Jean Bart gets nailed by the Musashi. There goes the Massachusetts by the Pommern coming around. The Thunderer is awfully stationary. Nope, there we go. He is moving. He's showing a lot of broadside. So they did manage to cap the first ring, but again, that's going to be a non-issue. Nikolai is involved in the fight. He is broadside to the Pommern. Musashi is just sitting here chuckling at the Jean Bart, saying there's nothing you can do about my shots. Meanwhile, the Georgia is going to push up. He pushes up a little bit more. He's going to get the Jean Bart, and I hate to say it, it looks like this is going all the way for Team Australia. And they're doing it with the Dreadnought, basically just sitting around watching all of this happen. So this is the one time where we've seen 3 ships. Nope, Dreadnought is shooting at the Jean Bart. He has his broadside, and he does 3k damage. All right, well, he contributed. Now the Georgia has pushed up. The Jean Bart has been able to move back enough to be able to protect his broadside, but this Musashi doesn't care, and the Jean Bart is trapped. It's just it's a matter of 1 or 2 shots. The Georgia needs to be careful not to over push here, because he's going to block the shots of the Musashi. Secondaries are firing on the Jean Bart. Pommern has shots out on the Thunderer. He is broadside to him, but again, this Thunderer, he requires something to tank, and guess what? There's nothing left to tank for him, so this Thunderer is going to be hunted down I don't know, I was going to say like a dog, but that's rude. The Jean Bart is pushing, trying to get some value by killing the Georgia. He is going to be able to ram him, and so the Jean Bart does take out the Georgia, leaving the Musashi and the Pommern. And the Dreadnought versus the Nikolai. But again, the Thunderer is a long-range boat, and this is, I think, the fallacy of bringing the Thunderer. Things have to tank for it. B, it's not able to tank shots. So your Massachusetts and your Jean Bart are going to get focused down. That's exactly what we saw happen here. It didn't last for very long, and now they're dead. And now it looks like the Pommern and the Musashi are taking up fairly defensive positions. The Dreadnought, let's see if they've spotted them. They don't know where they're at. They have a pretty good idea of where they're likely to be. They don't have vision on them right now. And if I'm the Pommern and Musashi, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to heal. Make sure that the Thunderer can't get a big 20k shot and basically change the dynamic of this, because if the Pommern does go down, then the Musashi, the Thunderer, and the Nikolai do have a chance against the Musashi. Musashi does have a little bit of vulnerability, but against a Thunderer who's primarily going to be firing AG, you're not really able to exploit that if the Musashi does turn and give you his peak. You got to make sure that you have the correct ammo loaded. You are not firing AP at that Pommern. Unless he's sitting there broadside, you just don't want to lose out on that potential damage. Dreadnought back in it, shooting at the Nikolai, able to take a gentleman's 500 HP, it looks like. Cross shot from the Dreadnought. Let's see if he's spotted. He is not, so the Dreadnought's playing quite effectively. And let's see here. Pommern has managed to heal up a little bit. He is moving into position. He's going to be able to see the Nikolai. His guns are turned. And full shot on the near broadside of the Nikolai. That should be the end of him. Nope. Pretty darn close. That should be the end of him. He did manage to take 10k off the Pommern between him and the Thunderer, but this Nikolai is going down, leaving the Thunderer in a 3v1 position. Pommern needs to basically bugger out of here. Musashi can 1v1 the Thunderer, and the Pommern can come back in for support once the Thunderer has engaged with the Musashi. Right now, it is looking all Team Australia. What's this Thunderer going to do here? So if the Thunderer goes right, the Dreadnought spots him out, and his best case scenario is to get in a long-range fight, but it looks like the Musashi and Pommern could then fire potentially without being spotted. Musashi shouldn't worry too much about being spotted, but again, if the Thunderer gets one big crack on that Musashi, and it is totally doable, looks like the Dreadnought has spotted out the Thunderer. Pommern is able to get his guns out on him and his secondaries, and this Thunderer is in trouble. His only real option, I don't know how much information he has. He has the Dreadnought. Is to go up this center here, and the Musashi's just sitting here waiting. If he does go left, he does have a really good chance at getting the Musashi's broadside. Again, the Musashi can push forward very quick and dive into this island. They know where the Thunderer's at. He's going to have the ability to make any type of position changes needed. And again, Thunderer's not a close-range boat. He gets close. Pommern smacks him. Dreadnought's shooting at him for giggles. The Musashi's just sitting here chuckling, waiting for the Thunderer to come up into this island, where that will be the end of the Thunderer. So it looks like it's going to be a 2-1 Team Australia versus Los Velocitas. Excellent play, excellent strategy. Some questionable calls from Los Velocitas. I think they should have made good adjustments. The second match, again, this is a different game mode, a smaller map. You got to make adjustments again. What works in one map doesn't necessarily work in the second. Here comes the Thunderer up the middle. Let's watch the Musashi get the death blow. Here he comes. Shots out. Oh. They're going for the ram. Toot toot. Musashi's got to be careful here. He's staying straight on. Dreadnought. If the Dreadnought gets the kill, 7k shot from the Dreadnought. All right, here we go. Musashi should get it right here. Boom! There it is. That does it. Team Australia winning 2-1. Congratulations to both teams. Excellent play. Great strategy. Great counterplay. Hopefully we'll see these teams in the future. All right, let's take a look. They've kicked us out. Okay, so that's that.